All right, I'll go ahead and make this into a video of how I approach the reading. So I'm going to get the reading going and share the screen. Let's see, partner, there's no take here, the list. Where's it at? There's the funnel. Maybe that's not the one on 3.5. That's probably what I need. Let's get it out. It's real quick. All right, I opened the article. I'm going to share it. Now, you don't have to make a video and all that. I'm just making it easier. I was going to type it all up, but I'd rather just make a video and share the video of how to approach this. All right, so I open up this, and the first thing I see is that it's split screen. And anytime I see where we have te seriously, excuse me, did I not just say I'm gonna make a video? Can you guys be quiet for a few minutes? Sorry, it's okay. Okay, so the first thing I see is that it is split screen, right? And then I see all these names up here with PhDs attached to their names, and to me that is kind of scary. So I think of I'm going to have to dedicate a place for this. I'm going to have to probably print it off and highlight it and try to push through reading it. So the first thing I see is, of course, this really long title and all these PhDs, and I think, wow, this is going to be a little bit hard. And then I see that we have an abstract, so that makes me feel better that we have an abstract. So it's going to tell me a little bit about what this is. So my first approach to actually understanding all of it would be just to kind of read exercise, sleep habits, spiritual health, mental health and stress management. So I'm kind of getting an idea. Okay, now I'm getting an idea a little bit about, well, what is this over? Uh, as I scroll through, I try to see, okay, how long is it? How much time am I going to be able to dedicate? And then I see that it also has a whole lot of resources. So I know that a lot of the length is going to be resources. So at least a page of the length is going to be references that I'll be able to use if I want to study further, but it's not part of the reading, so that makes me feel a little bit better. The next thing I see is that it has tables, and so I know that that's not words that I'm going to have to digest. It's a table that I have to understand. So I have some tables and I have some questions, and I know that these questions are going to help me understand what I'm going to read also. So I start feeling a little bit better. So at first I was a little bit scared because it has this really long title and all these PhDs, and it seems kind of long. 7 pages isn't too bad. As a teacher, I don't think that's too long. As a student, well, they probably would be like, oh, 7 pages. Again, the split screen where I have to read this and then I have to read this. I always get a little bit anxious about that. But since I'm able to see that it has tables and I'm able to the read these little subheadings, these little that it has an abstract, and I say, okay, I know I'm going to read about um, sleep and other behaviors. Okay, so exercise, here's some sleep habits, here's some spiritual health, nutrition. I'm able to just digest this chunk by chunk, right? Idea by idea. And I can see that it's only 7 pages, that it has tables, and that it has questions. And then here's some results. Now, usually I would just go straight to the results and read just the results first, and I would read the results first, and then in the abstract, the results in the abstract I would read first, and then I would go back and digest the information when I need. Now, when I tell students to digest something like this, I tell them to go to the results first. I tell them to do the abstract of the results, and then they can go back and use this in their essays to kind of say, okay, well, how did we arrive at that? Right? So opening this, it seems especially sleep deprivation among students. So that's something I don't know much about. So I know that whenever I'm tackling something like this, again, I do the the abstract first, the results first. I read those first to kind of get an overview of what I'm going to read. And then I'm going to go back and read all the charts and whatnot and get an idea of what I'm reading before I tackle it. But my first gut reaction is this really long title and all these PhDs, and that it's a split screen and small font. So I get a little, how much time am I going to have to dive into this? and what kind of environment will I need for this also. So I hope that helped a little bit, and I hope I did that correctly. I'll send this over to you. And if you just want to type something where you agree or disagree, or, a few things where you approached it differently, then you can do that too. And I'll type something up with it also.